Mabuhay sa inyo lahat, I'm back and today I'm gonna look at an amazing video from 1953. It's made by the US Armed Forces and basically it shows the development of the Philippines and especially Manila. Now what is interesting is to see how developed Philippines actually was in 1953 and then to compare it to what's going on today. As you guys know, I've been running around the Philippines and especially Manila for many months now. I've made videos for you guys to show you what's happening here, and you can see there's a lot of new things going on. There are a lot of new projects, especially in Manila City with the Mayor Isko Moreno having a lot of projects going on all the time. Right now we have the Lagos Nilat that was just finished a few days ago. We have the project of the Anda Circle, which is almost ready to open. The Catilla, of course, the dancing fountain, the lighting of España, and Taft Avenue, of course, and there's a lot more going on. Rehabilitation, of course, of Jones Bridge. Who can forget Jones Bridge? An amazing bridge. All right, so guys, let's take a look and see what the Philippines and the city of Manila looked like way back in 1953. Ready? Let's go. Armed Forces Information Film. The Philippines. Alright, here we go.
On the 4th of July,
that's a nice
1946, every man,
that's the
woman,
4th
and
of
child
July
in the
1946.
Philippines turned out to
That is
celebrate
the Independence Day of the
most significant holiday in
Philippines.
their country's history.
What a great day,
In
huh?
Manila, citizens witnessed the fulfillment of a dream that was centuries old. Their country, nurtured by the United States for 48 years, at last became an independent nation.
Right.
A new democracy with a government like ours, based on an enlightened constitution and Bill of Rights.
So this is really the independence. You can see the American flag is going down, the Filipino flag is going up.
The new Republic of the Philippines consists of more than 7,000 islands lying between the Pacific Ocean and the South China Sea.
Oh, French Indochina. That's Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos now. Formosa, Taiwan.
The largest of them are Luzon in the north,
Yep.
where Manila,
Luzon.
the capital, is situated, and Mindanao
Of course,
in the
Mindanao.
south.
Two most important places, and
The
then of course
islands lie in
Visayas.
the torrid zone. They have little variation in temperature, which in nearly all of them ranges between 70 and 90
Yeah, it's
degrees.
super hot here.
Humidity is high,
The
and the
humidity
annual
is high,
rainfall
especially
is
this
heavy.
time of the year, right?
Discovered over 400 years ago by
Magellan.
the explorer Magellan, who named them after his king, Philip II of Spain, the Philippines were ruled by the Spaniards for more than 200 years.
Isn't it 300?
Spain left its mark upon the architecture, the language, and the people in
Almost
many
300,
different
I
ways.
guess. I like those old buildings.
Then
huh?
in 1898,
Oh.
under the command of Admiral Dewey,
That is Admiral Dewey. And I know that name because when I first came here, the older people always told me to go down to Dewey Boulevard. And I was like, Dewey Boulevard, where's this? Well, that is the modern day Rojas Boulevard. So it used to be called Dewey Boulevard. Dewey, the admiral, was actually an American, and he was the one who attacked the Spanish fleet out in Manila Bay. Okay, let's go again.
the American fleet defeated the Spaniards, and the United States occupied the Philippines. During the years that followed, our country encouraged the Filipinos to become strong enough to be free. At their military academy,
At the PMA.
modeled after our own
Baguio.
West Point, we helped them train their own
Looks
officers
amazing, no? Discipline.
and their own army.
Oh, look at that. Stop for a second. You see the school here? You see in the back of it? Those are all bullet holes from the Second World War, huh? It took a long time, of course, to clean up after the Second World War. Not just here in the Philippines, but even in Europe. I remember as a kid going to Germany, we would still see like rubbles and buildings that were destroyed during the Second World War. And hey, that was like 30 years later, no? Okay, so let's go again.
Most important, we guided them in educating their people and in establishing a democratic
the American
political
flag
system.
and the Filipino flag.
Yet before the dream of independence could be realized came World War II and the bombing of the open city of Manila on 26 December 1941.
What a hard time. Actually, the Philippines was the second most bombed and destroyed city in the Second World War. Ay, ay, ay. Refugees,
In the
bombings.
fierce and hopeless battles that followed, there were 4 Philippine soldiers for every American
Oh, really?
soldier. The brave struggle of the Filipinos before the American surrender and during the long years of occupation that followed earned the deserved respect of the whole world. When at last the islands were liberated,
Yeah,
the
victory
people
parade.
of the Philippines had contributed
Public
as much
is
toward the
requested to
victory as
participate.
any other group of Americans. With the help of the United States, they set about the tremendous job of rehabilitating the
Oh, look at that. They're rehabilitating Manila in the Philippines, right? I see here the plan for Manila City. I see the Luneta Park. Over there is Intramuros. Oh, I see City Hall up there. Yes, right, right. Pasig River with Jones Bridge, of course. Going out to Binondo. I wonder what is over there. Is that the UST maybe? Could look like it, no? The back. Alright, let's go, guys.
their people and reconstructing their war-torn country.
Yeah, they're moving the whole house.
Most of the 20 million
Oh, is that
Filipinos,
birds?
like ourselves, are a mixture of races.
He's getting a haircut. That's cute.
Except for a
Negritos.
handful of pygmies, the Negritos, who keep to themselves in the mountain forests, the Filipinos are descended from peoples who came from Indonesia and the mainland of Asia.
Well, that's Malaysia, right? That's been on the
The
church.
vast majority of Filipinos have been
Open street
Christians
there in
ever
the
since
back.
the Spaniards ruled the country. Some 15 million Catholics, almost 2 million members of the Philippine Independent Church, and about 500,000 Protestants make the
So
Philippines
less than
the
20
only
million
Christian
people.
nation in the
And
Far
now we're,
East.
what, 110 million?
There are also over 500,000 pagans, some Buddhists and Shintoists, and mainly
that's
in
in
the
the
south
Muslim
of
Mindanao.
Mindanao, about
Wow,
800,000
they were actually
Mohammedans,
wearing like
the
that. Look at
Moros.
that. Oh, old Manila.
The Moros'
Cabezas.
biggest town, by the way, is a place you've heard of, Zamboanga,
Zamboanga. There was a Calabao, no?
where the monkeys have no
The
tails.
monkeys have no tails. In Zamboanga.
Most of the Filipinos live north of Mindanao, in the Visayan group of islands and in Luzon. The greatest number of them are farmers,
Okay.
living in countless small towns and barrios.
That looks nice, huh? Farmers, I don't think there's that many farmers anymore. It's not like half of the population.
Their basic crop, like that of other people throughout the Orient, is rice.
Yeah. I don't think that was actually a Calabao. Wasn't it more like a water buffalo, Kanina? Or was it a Calabao?
Although their living standards are higher than those of most Asiatics, they live simply and work
How about
hard.
the net going
For
down for
many
fishing?
thousands of other Filipinos, fishing is a means of livelihood.
Yeah. Wonder how many fish they can actually catch. Oh, that's a lot. They're small.
From the sea and from the inland waters of the islands, an increasing harvest of fish is sent to market each year.
What kind of fish is that? Look at it. It's humongous.
It is an
Yes.
essential addition to the rice, which is the main course in almost every meal.
Did they really wear like that just for a normal evening meal?
To improve the living standards of the people of the Philippines, The new republic, with the help of the United States, is encouraging the development of the natural resources of the island.
Okay.
The topography is varied.
Yep.
Mountains, hills, and plains are found on nearly all the larger islands. In every area, there is a wealth of natural resources.
Mining. Mining is a big industry
Minerals
here.
are one of the most important raw materials.
Yep.
In western Luzon are deposits of chromite,
Chromite.
used in the manufacture of steel.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Iron ore is found on almost all the larger islands.
But even now, it's a big industry. And actually, Philippines is really rich
There are
on natural
also deposits
resources.
of gold. With the help of new mining equipment, gold production is increasing.
Gold production. Okay.
Nearly half of the land area of the Philippines is forested.
I don't think it's half anymore. Hey, look at the guy up there in the tree, huh? Wow.
Besides mahogany, there are other hardwoods practically unknown
That's some
abroad.
humongous logs, huh? Look at those. Palm trees.
Coconut palms,
Coconut
which grow
palms,
through the
okay.
country, make the new republic the world's leading producer of coconut
Oh,
products.
really?
From dried coconut or copra is extracted a valuable oil much used in making soap.
For soap. Oh, palm olive. Maybe that's why they're using that name.
Abaca flourishes in the southern islands. The tough abaca fiber is one of the Philippines' best-known products, Manila hemp. The raw
Yes.
hemp is prepared for market on the plantations. Later, the fibers will be woven into marine rope, which has an extraordinary resistance to water damage.
Amazing, huh? Manila rope. We learned about that in school, I remember.
Sugarcane is a crop of great importance to the Philippine economy.
Oh, yeah, of
The
course.
present yearly sugar production has already passed the
Sugar
pre-war
canes
peak.
is really an important thing here. Electricity.
Electricity is a public service,
Hmm.
now available in most large cities and in many smaller communities. The power of the country's rivers and streams helps supply an ever-growing quantity of electric power to the expanding Philippine industries.
Wow, look at that. Footwear. So this is a big factory just for making shoes. I mean, making shoes, manufacturing shoes in the Philippines was a very, very big industry before. Unfortunately, it's declined. There's not so many factories left anymore, of course. And I've never seen a big factory like this before in the Philippines. So I guess they are really not here anymore. And we just hope and wish that maybe somebody could revive those factories again and start making footwear, shoes, and export them again, so that people have good jobs, especially now as the economy is not doing that well after the quarantine and the lockdown. That could be great. Let's go.
50 years ago, shoes were a luxury, which only a small proportion of the Philippine people could
Humongous, the
afford.
factory.
Today, shoe manufacturing is becoming an important industry.
Ah, the rope again.
Employment in the hemp industry is growing all the time as factories become electrified. The hemp fibers are woven into tough Manila rope, famous around the world since the days of the old clipper ship.
Yes. What is that?
A growing quantity of other goods are making the words "Made in the Philippines" an important trademark throughout the world.
That's a big factory, look at that.
Manila is a great trading center. Its magnificent harbor is known as the Pearl of the Orient. Rebuilt since the war, it now handles twice its pre-war cargo.
Really?
The Philippines' ships and their modern air fleet carry visitors and goods
International
from every
airport.
corner of the world.
Oh, that's the old airport. That used to be Makati, no? At the Makati Triangle.
Knowing that the future of any country depends mainly on the strength, skill, and imagination
So that must
of its
be UP.
people, the new republic has
If I
spared
remember
no
seeing
efforts
that.
to educate its citizens. With American help, the Filipino colleges and public schools, excellent in pre-war days, have been restored and expanded. English is the language used for teaching in the schools. Tagalog, one of the 87 languages and dialects spoken throughout the islands, is, however, a required subject in all elementary
Well, I guess
grades.
now it's the opposite. Tagalog is the language they teach in.
Medical schools graduate an increasing number of doctors and
Yes,
nurses.
that's a very big thing here. And nurses, doctors, and they're very good.
Public health education teaches the people by every educational means how to avoid disease.
Really? Oh, look at that, the old post office.
The Filipinos, justly proud of what they have accomplished,
And
still face many
Is
problems.
that the old Jones Bridge?
Some are natural to a new country.
Under
Others
repair?
are created by the communists. The new republic, a member of the United Nations, was one of the first to denounce the Red aggression in Korea.
Well, you actually sent soldiers to Korea during the Korean War.
Shiploads of Filipino troops were sent
see?
to Korea to fight side by side with other United Nations soldiers.
I think many people forget about that.
Other Filipino soldiers remained at home to fight the Huts, groups of communist organized guerrillas who raid and plunder villages and then retreat into the hills.
There was still a lot of the communists that time, huh?
The Philippine Islands are an essential link in the free world's defense arc in the Far East.
That was the time we still had the communist scare.
Because they lie only 65 miles from communist-threatened Formosa and only 400 miles from communist-held China, their own army is not sufficient for their defense.
Well, the Americans were here.
For the mutual protection of
Subic
the new
and
republic
Angeles,
and the U.S.,
Clark Air Force
American
Base.
bases have been set up throughout the islands.
In the port of Manila. Okay, I didn't know they had something there.
Already, the people of the Philippines have met as great a test as any nation ever encountered.
Canned
With their
goods.
resources,
Shoes
human
again.
as well as material, their prosperity need face no limitations.
And the fish? That's weaving. Weaving something.
Devoted to their country and loyal to their friends in other free lands, they are building a firm foundation for their
Hey,
progress
that's the Skolda.
and for the defense and peace of the free
Yeah,
world.
it's Santa Cruz. Oh, Jones Bridge, guys. So what can I say about this? Well, basically I would say it looked like the society was modernizing very fast, very quickly, and there was a lot of industries at that time. Unfortunately, we don't really have that many industries left here, which is really sad, no? Because factories, you know, could be a good way to hire a lot of people, especially during these difficult times after the coronavirus. And what was amazing for me to see was the way that people were dressing very nicely. You know, it was like they took an honor in it. Although I don't think they will wear Filipiniana while they were having dinner. But it's still great to see. And how the buildings looked, how clean everything was. If you notice when we see this, I mean, it was really pretty clean everywhere. You know, people looked good, you know, they dressed nicely. That is something that I missed today. Not just here in the Philippines, but in many countries around the world. People don't dress nicely anymore. I mean, you don't have to, you know, wear a suit and a necktie all the time, but you could just dress pretty decent anyhow and look nice, you know. It makes everything so much better. And I love that a lot of these old projects are actually been taken up again and being restored and revived. And I will show you more of what's happening in Manila in the next few weeks. So guys, stay tuned. Don't forget, takes just a second to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click that bell button. Ding ding. Alright, I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click that subscribe button and of course the bell button so you'll be notified when we have new videos for you.